Welcome back to Multiblock Madness. I believe this is episode 10, and I've done quite a bit off camera, a little bit of it on stream, especially the Twilight stuff I did the other day. I figure it's time for a bit of an update here. So I'm going to start off with deep mob learning. I don't know too much about the mod, um, like enough to explain it in great detail, but basically you don't need a mob farm. Instead of having a leggy mob farm in your world, you can make these data modules, and as you kill the monster, if you're carrying this learning device on you, you can have a maximum of four of these, of four different mobs. And so I've got the Enderman, a couple Twilight variants, and the Wither Skeleton. So right now, I wanted to showcase this. And so if you kill a Wither Skeleton, your device gets stronger and stronger. And as you can see here, I've killed 83. And so my device has become self-aware. So eventually, when I unlock the simulation chamber, which is not something I can do right now because Osglaws requires mechanism, once I do get this, I think it requires a lot of power too, which I don't have a great supply of. You put your data module in, and the better it is, you see you get more of these matters, these pristine matters for the various mobs. And then this stuff, which I don't quite know what that does yet. But if we look at the Wither Skeleton, for example, you can pick between making skulls or coal, and same with like a witch, redstone, glowstone, sugar. And then these guys here, these Twilight Forest dudes, you can get certain things. You can get a dragon, shulker, guardian. I think there's even a wither in here somewhere. Yeah. So it's pretty sweet. And these keys, if you have an empty key, which I've got a bunch of them on me right now. Nope. Yeah, I got 4 keys in there. These keys require some diamond dust and then these radiant keys from Arcane Archives, which is pretty cheap to make. If you kill a mob holding it, it attunes it. And right now, the last time I killed a Wither Skeleton, my data module was at a tier of advanced. And I don't know what the affixes regen party means. But now, my Wither Skeleton is at superior. So I'm going to go do a trial right now. So this is my trial. And I guess I should mention, this little device here is a multi-block. Uh, that's straightforward to make. Ashen stone, infused wood, inert. Yeah, so all this is stuff that it's not very expensive. And then it made this multi-block. I had some earlier clips, but I didn't quite like the sound. I've been trying to adjust things, and I don't know if this is any better, but I figure it's time for an update. Another thing to point out is my Shulkin from Tinkers. It is awesome. I'm a huge fan of this weapon. I've got the Scarab gem on here from that Fossils mod, Fossils and Archive. What's it called? Scarab? This thing, the Scarab gem. I've also got it added on my sword, if you remember. But now I've got it on my Shulker. Or not my Shulker. What's it called? Shurkin. So it increases the damage. I've got sharpness on there. I've got luck on there. And I've got Restonia. And the cool thing about the Restonia, if you're not aware, from actually additions, is the more hearts you have, the more damage it does. So, getting on a bit of a tangent here. Spice of life. I've gained 2 hearts. You can see the 2 orange ones because I've eaten 13 foods. And that's what I've eaten. And if I eat these, I'll get more hearts. So the more I branch out, the stronger this gets. Plus bloodwood. The main reason I threw bloodwood on there was because it's got the ecological wood trait, and it slowly heals over time, gains the ammunition back. But the Bloody Mary trait's kind of cool too, because it drops these things. The blood clot. Nope. At Tinker's blood. Oh, coagulated blood. And it was handy to make this blood altar that I'll show off later. Just, it's not hard to get this, but I just thought it was kind of neat. I got blood dropping everywhere now in my game. What else? octine. That's from the Between Lands. I think if somebody hits me, it puts them on fire. I might get rid of it. It lowers the durability, as you can see. And then silver. It makes it strong against the undead. But this thing's already very strong. So I got a spare. And the benefit to keeping a spare with you is it'll automatically attune it. So I don't have to run back to the nether and kill a wither skeleton. And I get 5 of these. I got 4 waves and it's advanced tier. So the more and more you upgrade your data module in here, the more and more these fights get complicated. Not complicated, but yeah, this is just easy. There's the blood. And unfortunately, these mobs don't drop loot. It's kind of a bit of a bloodbath. So I've got these pristine matters. If we look at the pristine zombie matter, I've killed a few of them, but I've killed way more wither skeletons. And so I can use these in the loot fabricator to get skulls or coal. And obviously I'm going to use it to get skulls. And that's awesome. 18. So if we look at the quest book, the loot fabricator is something I can make right now. So if I take these matters that I'm getting a reward from this thing, I can use them to make loot. But unfortunately, I can't yet make the simulation chamber. I don't even think it's on here. This is all something new to me, so I hope I'm explaining it accurately enough. I don't see it in here. Better not be up here. Oh man, it is. That's quite a ways away. So once I was to get the simulation chamber, you can put these modules in the chamber itself, and it would just generate the pristine crystals. But until then, I have to manually do it, which isn't too big of a deal. And also this key here, again, it's got new affixes. I don't know what that means, but it's a superior tier. So I would get even more crystals if I do that fight. So I always like to keep one of these pre-programmed, so I don't have to go to the nether. This is where I stuck my Twilight Forest portal. And I guess it's chapter 4. Yeah, basically you make the portal and you do these couple quests. I don't necessarily think Twilight's worth showing because everybody's done it. It's a cool mod, but once you've seen it once, you've seen it. You've seen it all the times. The beneath is important. It took block of star metal. That extra text in there doesn't apply right now. You just craft it like that. I don't know exactly what that's referring to, but yeah, this is just astral star metal as a block, and then compressed cobblestone and nocturnal powder. Makes it beneath. On my stream, somebody told me to make the sash, and I reluctantly made it, but I gotta say it's kind of awesome. I thought it was auto jump, but it's just auto walk up. If you turn auto jump on in the Minecraft controls, it's actually jumping. So today I learned, or yesterday I learned, whenever it was. So if you're not familiar with this place, if you walk anywhere in the dark, that monster that's growling will kill you. I set up one of these cave illuminators from Astral, which is awesome. It just throws light sources everywhere. And the primal void stone is actually found. You got to cook it, but it's actually found. Oh, and you got to throw it to the atomic reconstructor. It's found only the beneath, and it's kind of found everywhere. It's not that hard to find. But what is hard to find is can't make the sigil, can't make the glimmering lamp. I had to make the energetic alloy at the time because it was the most easily available to me. And it's a Thaumic Tinker device. Of course, I had to do a bunch of Thaumcraft research, which isn't the worst, but it's definitely not my favorite. So the benefit of this place is easy to see ores, lots of rare stuff. Still can't get rutile. and there's tons of nuclear craft ores that are in here, as you can see. And lots of crystals you can see. Kind of a cool looking place. That's molten gold. If you go in there, you burn. And then this is some kind of oil. It actually makes you mine faster. It doesn't hurt you. The gold hurts you, though. I relocated my... what do you call it? My ember setup. So now it's just coming over, dumping grit in there. And I have grit filling these between lands furnaces just to quickly cook something. This minecart is not related to this. It's related to sucking these items out of there. And unfortunately, it grabs the shards. In the beginning, it only grabbed the crystals, but when it runs out of crystals to grab, it'll grab the shards. And every time you leave a dimension, the chunk loading gets messed up. So I gotta fix it somehow. But it's kind of just a little gimmick. That was kind of terrifying. So yeah, it just drops off items. And like I said, unfortunately, it grabs the shards. Oh, nice. I've been AFK for so long, this thing finally charged. Not too difficult to make. But of course you have to get into blood magic. And this is a bit of a rabbit hole. The blank rune. You need to make, in the beginning, you need 4 crushed slates, and they will make 1 rune. And this is waste. Originally, I thought I had to actually supply it seared stone, but it's actually waste that I'm probably going to end up voiding because I don't think it has a purpose. But to make the crushed slate in the beginning, you need the crusher. And a basic tier slate from blood magic gives you 2. The second tier gives you 4, third, fourth, etc., to 5th, giving you 32 of these. And to make the first tier of this, you need arcane stone from Thaumcraft, and to make arcane stone, you can either use ashen stone from embers, or use ashen stone and viz crystals. But either way, I guess it requires ashen stone. And of course, ashen stone's made with just regular stones, ash piles from embers, which is just made from dumping garbage loot like stone or cobblestone into that whatever that block is in embers. Doesn't matter. So you might be asking, how did you get the crusher and the squeezer from Immersive? You must have power. And of course I do. So the beneath we talked about, getting into blood magic required Bristonia, mana, the primal void stone. So everything in here is pretty straightforward to get, except the primal void stone. You needed mortis, so there's a little bit of Thaumcraft, which again isn't that hard. It's just dealing with Thaumcraft. So there's a little bit of preparation to get that void stone to the right block type. But I have that altar now. So where is that altar? Originally, I just had it down there in my shop, and I was using the sacrificial dagger on myself. But this morning on stream, or was it off stream? I can't remember. I built this thing. So I stand here. Oh, wow. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, I fixed it. That's actually funny. This pickaxe is insanely fast, and I forgot about it because something else I did. I got into attunements, and I attuned myself with Evorgio, and I've been climbing my way through the quest tree, and it's given me block mining speed. One thing I don't like about this sash is how high you jump. But I guess jumping 2 blocks is kind of cool. Where is the dagger? I forgot the dagger over in my other chest. So yeah, we've got, what is that, 5.7 buckets of life essence. So as long as those guys are in a certain proximity to the blood altar, this weapon is a one-hit kill. Otherwise, it does, like, no damage. So you've got to be near the altar. But yeah, that gave me 2 buckets up to 7.9. And I recently added these Rune of Sacrifices, so each hit does more, each kill does more damage. And I did this on stream. If you use one of these tier 2 slates, plus just all this stuff, you get 1. But I actually went to the trouble of just using stone. But making these, I made 2 of these Gem of Sacrifices to get 8 of those in total. And that just requires 2 of these tier 2 slates, a couple of these daggers, which are easy to make, tier 2. And if you're unaware, blood magic, this block right here is tier 1 just by itself. And then once I add this layer, that actually becomes tier 2. And you can learn that by making the how do you pronounce that? Divination sigil. See in the top left corner of the screen, it says tier 2. If I was to break one of these, it would say tier 1. And speaking of which, this is something I learned recently too. Blood Magic has the book here, but they also have this Inspectoris Scandal. And what's cool about this thing is you can shift right click and actually set it to tier 5. Tier 6 is not something you can build unless you're cheating in a 1.12 version of Minecraft. In 1.7, I guess you could do that tier, but not anymore. Okay, so I just shift right clicked on the altar, and it's got some text telling me what block is missing, but it also shows a ghost outline of the entire structure. So I filled in everything with granite, and then all the blanks are where I have to put these runes as I craft them. And glowstone. There's that blood brick. It's a special type of brick. Requires a blood shard, and those are beacons there where the torches are for the what do you call it, the Nether Star beacon. So yeah, if I go back to this and I say, you know what, I want to know just tier 3, because tier 3 is the next thing I have to make. If I shift right click, it changes to show what I need to do. And I've played quite a bit with blood magic, and I had no clue that was a thing. So that is awesome. And I don't want to see all this ghost stuff right now, so if I just do tier 1, it goes away. So that's pretty cool, I think. This sack of holding from Cyclic, this actually has a creeper spawner that I found, and this has a skeleton spawner. And these sack of holdings are kinda cheaty. They just require string and an apple and leather, but you can it's a simple chest transporter, any tile entity, and spawners act as tile entities, so I hope this one isn't a creeper. Okay, it was. I thought the creeper was there. And this thing's broken. When I place this, my game spams errors up here, and I have to restart. So I don't even want to touch this block. I was trying to tune out the zombies. This is important to set this to 1, and it's important to set the max Strakic size to 1. So it'll only keep 1 item in here at a time. Otherwise, it just drains all your blood way too fast early game. And of course, the quest book tells you to use these to automate this. I think I actually have it set up to walk up to it. Yeah, and then it dumps 1 in there. So the next thing was the light engineering block. And you need the orb from blood magic to get it, plus some random other stuff that's not too difficult. And that got me the squeezer. And the rest of this isn't very complicated. It was just the light engineering block. This stuff's all basic. we go back to the crusher, all this stuff's basic, just the light engineering block again. If we go to power options, there's a leaf eating generator from Actually Additions, which I considered, but not quite yet. There's mana. I'd like to play with this, because that seems like a lot of mana, 2 RF, but I just haven't had the will to get into Botania even more. And the windmill for low voltage. And I didn't go that route. I went straight to the water wheel with the kinetic dynamo and fermenter. Oh yeah, to make your own type of diesel generator and then distilled water boiler. This is probably the route I'm going to go first for advanced power. But I went straight to medium voltage power cables and water wheels to power my system. I've got a battery, and then there's the kinetic energy receptor there and there for the water wheels. So these two go to that bat box, up to this bat box that holds 1,000,000 RF, and the same with these two. And I figured it'd be kind of cool to build like a little bit of a railing and then a 3x3 walkway over that direction in the future when I expand. I'm not exactly sure how upstairs is going to look, but I've managed to keep this at level Y24 up top, and then over at my blood magic setup where the altar is also at Y24. So I might have some giant, it might be like an upside down pyramid, this base. I'm not sure. The problem with that design, of course, is the further vertical you build, the further spaced out your base is, and then that's probably just going to get laggy. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the layout of this place so far, but for right now, it'll have to work. My power's coming in. I've got on-off switches for both of these machines. And if I get ore, I'll just do one because it's kind of loud. Nickel. I can just dump a bunch of stuff in here and leave because it's very loud. But it goes up, drops in. And then it doubled. So here's some extra junk that I've made. This is supposed to be a lava generator. You dump cobblestone in, and with a little bit of RF, it makes lava. So yeah, the next big step is I want to upgrade my farming, my agriculture, acrecraft farming, and I want to get immersive going. And this whole area is going to be immersive, but I don't necessarily love this layout, so I don't know how it's going to change. And I also want to keep in mind when I do unlock further automation like applied energistics, how am I going to tie it into these machines? Or am I just going to ignore these and then build more of them somewhere else? Maybe these will get retired and I'll just leave them here. I kind of like the idea of leaving all my stuff and then just advancing upwards. But we'll see how that goes.